Oh, yes. Now OBS
We
is
should be
saying we're
live.
live. This is the most dramatic start of a stream ever. Like, is my camera on?
This is
Work
how
from home
every
flashbacks.
stream ever starts, right? It's just like, I think we're live. Chat, tell us if we're live.
Yes, chat. Can you hear us? And also tell us if the audio levels are all right. I'm getting a notification from my phone that I have gone live, so I think we are live. But there's always a delay in
I
the chat.
expect we're live.
Super professional. I'm doing this for a living, by the way.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, uh, welcome everyone to Lowlands Wargaming. Today is a very special occurrence. This is the first ever this preview stream where we're talking about rocks and ladders and snakes. Not snakes. Siege towers. It's a siege event. I'm joined by Dirk Jan, the organizer of the event. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Dirk,
Hi.
Dirk Jan is a bit quiet. All right, I will crank you up. There you go. You are now louder. So,
I am louder.
could you kick us
Haha.
off by maybe introducing the event a little bit and talking about what made you organize it in the first place?
Yeah. Basically, I last year started organizing in a standard three tournament limit by the DMEL, and I have one cool 1,000 point event that this year isn't happening, but we should be back next year. I have my standard big super competitive one in September, and I figured let's do a fun format for the third one. So I played around with several things and then realized that even though sieges are a huge part of Middle Earth, we don't have any siege tournaments. The last one in Europe I found was like 2012 by Ali King in the UK.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I got his rules back as inspiration.
What has
So I
changed in
figured that would be
what is
cool.
it, 13 years?
Surprisingly little, but it does happen that my event is a little. I'm aiming for a bit more competitive because that event was very narratively driven. So we had three scenarios that narratively followed each other, and I wanted battles that felt like sieges with a competitive concept. We'll have to see how well that worked with the design of the scenarios, but that was the goal.
Yeah, yeah. So your aim was to make it
Um,
as competitive as possible given the constraints of siege.
yeah. And then the new edition came out with extra siege rules, so that just cemented the decision.
Anything in particular from the new edition that
Because now you can
really
bring
stuck with
rocks.
you?
I mostly just really like that they've actually put point values to certain siege equipment, like a battering ram, a siege tower, a ladder. These things had concepts, but because they were only really ever came around in narrative play, there were never any points associated with them, as far as I was aware. This just made my job a lot easier because instead of thinking up the points that was relevant, I can just use the official points and be like, yeah, sorry, this is the rules. At the same time, I am disappointed with their siege scenario that they made
Yeah, so
because it
they left a bit
seems
on the
just
table there.
not very interesting. Yeah, or at the very least, it didn't fit my purposes.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm very interested in seeing the scenarios that you made. Do you want to like maybe like go through the main points? Like everyone that's watching should probably have read the scenarios when they were making their armies, but maybe talk us through the spirit of them.
Yeah, so we got three scenarios. The first one is Fall Back to the Keep, which is sort of a bit of a flip on the format because your leader will start outside your walls. The terrain will roughly be set up with a wall 12-inch from one board edge and a relatively clear field. There will be some scatter, but no real big site blockers. So that's roughly the idea for the terrain. And in fall back to the keep, your leader actually, if even if you're defending, your leader starts outside of the keep, and there's a lot of points for getting your leader safely back inside.
Okay, but
So
what's
that's
stopping
the
people from
first
just
scenario.
running straight inside?
Well, um, in theory, nothing. However, there is an opponent out there on the field that will hopefully try to stop you, or they should. And things like siege weapons, magic can give a whole load of play here. And if I remember correctly, I need to double check my numbers. You should be 18 inches away from the gate. So it will take basically any model at least 2 turns to get back.
Yeah, so the attacker has some time to try to intercept
Uh,
or do some shenanigans.
yeah, to try something at least.
Yeah, cool.
Then we have the second scenario, which is an adaptation on Fog of War, um, where instead of having secret objectives, the objectives are public because some of them, with the format, it's a lot harder to have these things secret. Um, However, we still have the nominate a hero, which you have to keep alive, and preferably you get extra points if your nominated hero kills more models than your opponent's nominated hero. This is to encourage the defender to still have their hero actually in combat and not just put him somewhere behind the wall where he's never gonna get seen and then never gonna take damage.
I'm gonna lay down and have a nap.
Um, exactly. This was a big constraint that I had trouble working around with a lot of the scenarios. Like, I want to have some interaction with the heroes, but how do I prevent you just putting your hero behind the wall and it's never gonna matter because the wall is a strong enough time blocker that you might just run out the tournament clock.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there's that. You do secretly note down a target hero. Uh, Gates are points, banners are points, all this kind of stuff.
Yes, and rally points, right? Those count as banners.
And then, yes, one of the siege equipment you can get as a defender is a rally point, which functions as a banner. And because there are some armies that aren't able to bring banners, I've decided to let those also count as banner points because they can be countered, and it makes them a bit more. It makes it a bit less likely that the attacker gets some free points, and that there could theoretically be a scenario where the attacker starts with 2 points and a defender with 0, so the attacker just falls back to the end and goes, "Your turn."
I have a flag, so I win. Who knew that we needed siege scenarios in
Exactly.
order to give boundless armies their time in the sun?
Yeah.
Cool.
Um, and then the final scenario is take the walls, where we have 4 scoring regions. We have the left side of the wall, the right side of the wall, the gatehouse in the center, and the backfield. And it's just get more models in each area, get points.
Yep, makes sense to me. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your event before we dive into the lists?
Um, just preventively a large. Please send feedback once we're done. This is a tryout for the format. I hope it works enough that it bears repeating. I see Menno's asking about the gates.
Yeah, they
Let
have,
me get the exact
off the top
stats.
of my head, 2 wounds, defense 8, and they can only be wounded by strength 5 or higher. This is off memory, so I can't be wrong.
Yes. How big they are? Yeah. How big they are might vary a little bit because I'm sourcing walls from several points. They should all be around 50 millimeters wide. However, I've set a specific rule in the rules back: monsters will fit through. The only things not won't fit through are Mumax or catapult trolls, because those bases are just a bit ridiculous.
Right. So if your model doesn't actually fit, you have to just kind of give each other the benefit of the doubt. You can actually charge through there, and you do actually fit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's Siege.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do stuff like that with ladders, anyways, and staircases and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and when trying to bash in a door, doors always count as trapped. Doors can't win dual rolls.
really,
But you need a certain amount of strength to be able to kick in a door.
yeah, it makes sense. I think, as we will see in the list, a lot of people have some creative ideas on what can take down a door, and I think I don't think a lot of people will have trouble breaking the gate, provided they can actually get to it.
Yeah, no. Some early playtests suggested that a higher tier gate was gonna take too much time, just pure time for the actual clock to get through. Um, this might have been a specific instance of that test, and it might have been wrong. But on the other hand, I don't mind getting the action going a bit quicker. But
Yeah,
this is also, I want feedback on all parts of this format because it's a test. I hope it will work, and hopefully we can repeat it and improve on it.
yeah. Because like at the end of the day, it's only 150 points that the attacker has more, so you can't give too much of a advantage to the defender, right?
Yeah, it is a 25% difference in points. There has 600, 25% more, 750. That's the concept. That's how what it says in the rulebook. But yeah, it is only 150 points, and the attacker needs siege equipment, while the defender can have siege equipment as a fun bonus. Like, rocks are cool, but you don't need rocks if you have 33 Mirkwood Rangers. Spoilers.
Yeah. Speaking about rocks, I actually have a price ask, as is tradition at this point. Um, Everyone who's in the chat can get put in a single number, well, a number, um, about how many rocks in total were purchased by defenders, like adding up everything across all army lists. How many rocks were purchased, and the winner gets to, as always, choose some models or a sprue from my pile of potential that I'll be taking with me to the tournament. So put your best guess into how many rocks were purchased by all defenders combined in the chat right now. And at the end of the stream, you will know whether or not your guess was the right one. And am I getting some confirmations that apparently my internet's being shit, which is weird because I have gigabit internet. So I'm going to send a message and see what I can do about that while people are guessing.
In the meantime, I can show my previous prizes from winning one of these prize questions.
Yes, you actually won one of those.
These nice goblin prowlers that have now joined my pile of potential and still haven't been painted.
I'm just paying it forward. There we go. Okay, hopefully this will do something.
I'm sure I will once I get.
Okay, we have the first
sure
guess
they'll
in
get
at
painted
24.
once.
24 rocks. Max thinks there's 24 rocks being purchased. Alright.
Is my chat? My chat's. Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Right.
Studio.
With all the introduction done, shall we get started on information on the lists?
Yes, let's do it. Yeah, it's getting a slight
All right.
buffering here, but well, there's not much I can do about it, so we'll hope it clears itself up. I've closed everything I can, and yeah. All right,
Another guess coming in from a hydrated person.
going for 20. All right, some high strong guesses in there. All right, I see you're already sharing your screen. I'm going to switch the
Um,
view over so that we have your presentation nice and big in for everyone, and then you can take it away.
right. Yeah. So first, I've got the ratios of good and evil. I was like having a look at this to just get a sense. Um, I'm noticing there's a lot more good than evil. I wonder if that's a quirk of the format or something of the new edition that people have more faith in good lists.
I think this might be more of an addition thing. Um, we've seen a lean towards good because it feels a bit more potent. There's more good lists that feel strong than there are evil lists that feel strong. I will say.
Yeah, and with the general trend in this edition towards bigger heroes being better, good tends to rely more on big heroes. I think that's the origin of this. But then, without further ado, let's start getting into the actual lists. With first Alexander, who's bringing Last Alliance on the attack and Rangers of Mirkwood on the defense.
Yeah. So we have two big
So we've got
beatstick heroes on the attack, with a siege tower and two siege ladders for easy access.
yeah. Notably no ram. Then again, I'm not sure if you need a ram if you have Elendil.
Yeah, because isn't he like strength 5 on his own and then two handing gates trapped?
Yeah. So that would be fives for him to wound with 6 dice. He should be able to break through quite quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward plan, right? Last Alliance is a pretty
Um,
decent list. I think it tends to do a little bit better defensively, especially with its army bonus. But yeah, Elendil can certainly force its way in there, and a high fight value will mean
mhm.
that you can, at least, at the very least, push people back and get a foothold on the wall easily, especially with that siege tower. So, pretty straightforward plan, I'd say.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, Not many bows, but that is fair with the bows on the attacking side in general are usually not very high. I think because people are focusing their points into getting on the walls and doing work,
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
yeah, because every shot you take has it in the way, so it's every shooting weapon except for siege has its effectiveness reduced by 50%. So like, why bother, right? I get it. But
Yeah.
I think the opposite is true for the defending list here, with a whopping all the bows, 28 of them, with what is it, 30 shots in total? Does Tariel have expert shot? I keep forgetting. I don't think she does.
Yeah, 28 bows, 30 shot.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't actually know.
I don't think she
30 or
does.
31 shots.
Yeah, yeah, and a rock. Don't forget about the rock. The first rock.
One rock.
Who's keeping count? But yeah, I think also that
um,
plan's pretty
yeah,
straightforward. Just shoot your enemy until they're dead, and if they come and fight you, then you worry about it then. But the plan is to kill as many people before they get to the walls as possible. And with 30 elf bows or 30 elf shots, you should definitely be doing it. Oh, she did get expert shot in the new edition. Okay,
apparently
yeah,
Tariel does have expert shot. Yeah,
yeah, great.
yeah.
Okay, so
I
31.
do think this is the kind of defensive list where siege tower. Yeah, I do think this is the kind of defensive list where siege towers will really show their value. Because it's not just a way to get on the walls; it's also a big tower that you can cover behind and cause in the ways. Um,
Yeah, that's right.
and once it's at the door, you're very quickly in combat, and that's where the Ranger of Mirkwood defensive list is probably going to start struggling.
Yeah, because the problem with the Rangers, as soon as they lose, they die with their defense 3, so that's the tricky bit. Yeah. All right, well, I think we're going to see this some more, so let's move on to the next pair of lists. Good luck, Alexander.
To the next list. This is Boss with two Assault on Helm's Deep lists, both offensive and defensive. I noticed I forgot to swap around, and we now have inconsistent locations of the defensive and defensive lists. I'm sorry.
Well, people are
Yeah,
just
we
going
have
to have to pay attention
Uruk-hai.
and be, be on the top of their game.
Yeah. On the defense, we have Assault and Helm's Deep with just a bunch of Uruk-hai, some Berserkers, maxed out bows.
Yeah, there's no.
And
There's a demo team in here, which I think is
there's a
interesting.
demo team.
Like,
I think Scorched Earth is a decent tactic.
well, when you think about it, if someone's like rocking up a siege tower to your gate, right, and you just park a demolition team in front of it, like, come at me, bro. I dare you.
Yeah. Or someone comes up the ladder with their big hero.
Yeah, it's a really big deterrent.
Yeah. The offensive list, however, has also a demo team, two ballistas, and two ladders.
Yeah, that's interesting, because like you can definitely can get rid of the gate either with the demo team or just with ballista fire, but then you only have two ladders
Yeah.
for your dudes to climb the walls with.
Yeah, maybe the plan is to break through the gate and then use the ladders in the defensive side to get more dudes on the walls. Because obviously the defensive side will also have access points.
Yeah, are those just staircases or are those also ladders?
I believe they will all be ladders.
Okay, but they can't pull them up, right?
They can't pull them up or push them down. Those will be permanent ladders.
Right, permanent ladders. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think
Um,
Bus just had the idea that you know who's good at fighting on walls is Uruk-hai. Let's just take them on both sides and
I
run with
think
it.
there's a good chance, yeah, because Uruk-hai defending a choke point, it's gonna hold.
It should do. It should do. All right, let me close this off. There we go. Okay. Well, I think
Moving
Uruk-hai
on.
will actually do pretty well. It should be interesting to see.
Yeah. Moving on to the next list, we have Dirk with Men of the West on offense, with Elisar, Gwahir, and Gimli. Mix of Minas Tirith and Rohan, a siege towers, and a couple ladders.
Yep. Yeah. I think pretty straightforward game plan. Alisar and Gimli are really good at, you know, killing things and getting a foothold, and I
Yeah.
don't know, tossing a dwarf. And then you have Gwaier doing bird things.
Yeah. If you need to break through the gate, Elisar and Gwahir should have no problems with that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the game that can hold a choke point from the two of those.
A Balrog might hold for a little while, but even then.
Yeah, no, a Balrog will probably just single-handedly hold it from everyone except Glorfindel, maybe thematically.
Yeah.
And then on the
No
defensive
bows,
side,
lots of throwing weapons.
yeah, but the throwing weapons they double as spears, so they're just spear supports
Yeah.
that maybe can take a pot shot at something. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and maybe if you use the ladder to climb up and charge, you can try to throw and then you immediately get the foothold.
Uh,
Maybe.
No, you're not allowed to make shooting attacks while you're on the ladder.
Oh, okay. I haven't double
At
checked that
least, at
rule.
least I am 100% certain that used to be a rule. It may not have made it into the current edition, but would think it's very hard to chuck a spear while you're climbing a ladder. But who knows? Maybe they have
Yeah.
discovered secret technology in Rohan.
Yeah, I'll double check that before we have the actual event, so I know how to answer that question if and when it comes up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. On his defensive list, Dirk is bringing Last Alliance with Gil-galad and Isildur. It just has one rallying point as a banner.
Yep, makes sense. I mean, you could have put that as a banner, like you do have banner access in the list, but I guess a rallying
Yeah,
point is cool.
the rallying point is cool. You have a bit more flexibility with modeling if that's what you're into.
It's very true.
And yeah, and I guess it's a bit cheaper because you don't have to actually pay the points for the model.
Yeah, and
But then again, it's
yeah,
not mobile.
exactly. I think it can be dragged around by people, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a model. I'll just take a dude with a flag.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Isildur is really underrated in this edition. But unfortunately, if you're taking him with Gil-galad, he doesn't have the ring, so that then he becomes
Right.
overrated. So I wouldn't have done this, but that's me. The King's Guard though are very nice, so I will say
Yeah, a
that.
lot of Kingsguard.
Yeah.
A lot of charge up, charge an elf, haha, 6 die.
Yep.
Like, the Whirling Blast is
Yep.
gonna might actually be quite relevant here if you start falling off ladders.
Well, I mean, if you're dead, you don't fall off a ladder. The
Ah, right.
the falling off ladder only happens when you lose a fight. You don't get killed, and you roll a 1 to 3.
Right.
Michael's like,
Notably, no
this.
rocks.
Sorry? Oh yeah, no rocks, no rocks.
No
Expect
rocks.
yes, yes. Gotta keep count. And Michael says, list building step one: take a dude with a flag. I'm like, well, in this case, you can actually take a flag without a dude. It's called a rallying point. Here you go. We fixed the format. Maybe they should just
Introduce
add
rallying points
yeah.
into.
They should just
Yeah.
add rallying points into general list building and just it's a heavy object that you can carry around.
Not even have it carrying around. Like it won't be useful. It'll just give you the points.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's in your deployment zone somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Anyway, moving on. I think we can move on to the next list here, which is Yelle, who is defensively bringing Linden with Gil-galad, Círdan, and the Rivendell captain, and rocks.
Rocks, rock spot it. Yeah, that's
So
26 models, all elves, pretty nasty. Decent amount of bows and Círdan. And I am very happy to see Círdan because he can blow people around with windy farts. But
yeah,
I am mildly disappointed that it's on the defending side because the attacking side has the golden opportunity to just have Círdan blow people right off a wall, and if the defender does it, they just hit the battlement instead. But he can maybe blow people off shield towers or ladders. That might be nice.
I think that could be because obviously your big hero's coming up the ladder first and then gets blown off, and how are you gonna make space now?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Story time. I think this is like 18 years ago at this point, or maybe more. At the start of our fantastic little hobby, someone in my Nijmegen hobby group when I was a wee lad had made Helm's Deep, gigantic Helm's Deep, and we played a game on it. And I was super proud. I was on the defending side. I had my Legolas set up in a special spot. But back then, if you had Saruman in your army and he had the Palantir, he could cast spells from anywhere on the battlefield. Super broken. So my opponent just did Sorcerer's Blast on Legolas. He was knocked back, flew off the wall, instantly died on like turn one. I was like, right, falling damage is no joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Moving on to the offensive list from Yelle, which is Return of the King, with of course Strider, Legolas, and the King of the Dead. Two ladders and a tower.
Yep. I think I mean, ghosts can't fly onto the wall or through the wall like some people were thinking when this was first announced, but they'll
Uh,
still be really good at,
yeah.
just generally going through there and killing things. Uh,
Hmm.
and I do like,
Especially with the tower.
yeah, exactly. They'll just get in there. And I like Leggy with the tower too. You can just put him in there, and while he's getting rolled forward, he's just taking some shots. It's nice. It's
Yeah.
cheeky. Yeah, looks good. No rocks though. Oh no, one rock.
No rocks.
One rock in the
Oh yeah,
defender.
rocks.
One
One
rock.
rocks.
Yes. When are we going to see the first battering ram? I haven't seen one yet.
Um, it's gonna be no, it's quite soon.
Okay.
I think there's only two or three.
Mm. All right, show me. Let's go.
First,
Oh, stats.
more stats. Yeah, so we have a total of 41 siege ladders,
That's a lot
six
of letters.
towers, two battering rams. So yeah, there's only two lists with battering rams because these are not in the same list. Five projectile siege weapons, so ballistas, catapults, theoretically trebuchets, but there aren't any of those, and a grand total of 11 eagles, about half of which are Gwahir.
What's the other half?
Eagles.
Ah, okay. Well, that explains that. I am sad that there's siege weapons and no one took the superior siege weapon, the trebuchet. It's all other stuff.
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure if anyone brought a list for their attack that can bring the trebuchet.
No,
Reclamation doesn't have it.
it's only atop the wall.
Yeah, and no one brought it top the wall for their offensive list.
Yeah, and it may be Mia's Street like the vanilla one, but I don't think it can take it. But I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm sure chat will tell us in a moment.
Yes, it's the quickest way to like find an answer to anything is just say something incorrect on the internet and someone will correct you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's a
yeah.
lot of ladders.
Yeah. We have 32 people, so slightly, 16 offensive lists, so slightly over two per person.
Oh yeah, the Realms of Men. There you go. Second list, I can
Yeah.
take a trebuchet. Technically,
Hmm.
a Realms of Men list can have a King of Men and then only trebuchets, because according to the FAQ, all unnamed heroes in the Realms of Men list are now heroes of Fortitude, and according to the rules, you can take one siege engine per hero of Fortitude. And the siege veteran is now a hero of Fortitude. Good job, GW. Sorry,
Yeah.
rant over.
Um, yeah, I was kind of expecting at least someone to think, I'll bring a projectile siege weapon in defense, just park it in a corner where it will be very hard to get to, and just shower the attackers with um, siege strikes.
Yeah,
So
so
no one's done that.
no, I considered it, but it would have to be an evil siege weapon because the good one just at some point everyone's in combat or near a friend, and then the
Mhm.
evil ones, the only real candidate is the mortar one, and the list is not particularly good. So
Right. To be fair, if bolt throwers were a thing already, I reckon there would be a couple of those.
yep, literally just bring all siege. All right.
Let's move on to your list.
Yay! I have brought Men of the West times two because I really like LSR. And I just like cutting people in half with a lightsaber. What can I say? Also, the one list that I was considering for attack, I had to paint too much for it. I was like, you know what? Let's not put that much pressure on myself again because I have a habit of doing that. So yeah, for the defenders, it's Men of the West and it's LSR and Legolas with a whole bunch of dudes. And for a change, I've decided to bring the humble Rohan warrior with bow because it's just a cheap guy that can shoot something and hopefully not die in return. For a respectable 30 people, including a guy with a flag, and rocks. One rock, because I had 5 points left. I decided for rocks over giving leggy armor. That's how high I value rocks. I think they're pretty good. I seriously
Should we at some point in this stream quickly reiterate what the rules for rocks are?
No.
Okay.
No, I will do it. So rocks are a 25 mil base that has rocks on them. You have to have them modeled, otherwise it's lame. And models that are in base contact with it can make a shooting attack at a 4 plus on a model that's within 1 inches of the wall or on a ladder. And within 8 inches or something. I think that's the max range of it, something along those lines.
Yeah. Though I am a bit. Oh, I guess it's right. It's sideways. I'm an idiot. Never mind.
Okay, apparently you answered your own question.
I was earlier today, when looking up the rules for rocks, a bit confused about why the 8 inches needed to be there. Because if they're within 1 inch of the walls, they're not going to be
Yeah,
8 inches away unless you have really tall walls, and then.
Yeah, but otherwise, if you didn't include the 8 inches, a pair of rocks could hit someone at the other side of the battlefield, so that'd be a bit weird.
True.
Provided they were within
On
1
the
inch
other
of the
hand,
walls.
with the 8 inches, if you have really tall walls, suddenly gravity stops working.
Yeah, let's be a little bit lenient about that. But yeah, it's a strength 6 hit.
We don't have any walls that tall.
So basically you're spending 5 points to give 2 models a chance at doing strength 6 hits on people. Because that's probably all you're gonna get out of it, and maybe for 2 turns or something. But yeah, it's pretty good. I wouldn't buy like 20 rocks for your army, but a few here and there is pretty cool. So yeah, the logic here is just Legolas is good, LSR is good, tin cans are good at holding objectives, and also everyone within 3 inches of a hero gets dominant 2, and everyone's fearless, as long as LSR is alive, which should be most cases, unless I fuck up. And then for the attacker, the logic is kind of reversed. We don't like bows anymore, so Legolas is out. Aguirre is going to open the gate, and I really was humming and hawing about Gimli or a captain, and ultimately I decided for a captain, just so I can bring more dudes and more ladders. It's a healthy amount of ladders to get all of the dudes up on the walls. That's the idea. You just march forward with LSR, you apply the lightsaber to make a dent into the wall, and off you go.
Hope Cleardown doesn't blow you off the wall while on the ladder.
We have resisted magic for that. And 3 will points, and the Ring of Baal. We're fine.
Yeah. And then you have a big eagle for tactical backup.
Yeah. Which totally will be able to land on the wall, right? I don't see a problem.
Yeah, we'll discuss this when we get to the Eagles list.
Sure.
Because I have thoughts on the Eagles list. Oh, hey, look, it's the Eagles list.
Jesus Christ, that timing. Oh, you scumbag. Hey, Larry. It's your list. We have Eagles on the offense.
Yeah.
So I think the logic here is that why bring siege equipment when you can just fly over the wall, through the wall, break the gate, land on the wall, do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, that is the idea, and I think in theory it works. It could work quite well. Eagles are also just quite strong this edition. However, a wall has limited space, and it's probably not that hard to put a anti-fly zone over your entire wall to just prevent eagles from being able to charge anything because their bases won't stand stably.
Okay.
Which is what I think is the danger with eagles. I think bringing 1 eagle is less of a problem, because then you still have tools to make some space for your eagle to start coming in and doing things. I think there is a danger with only eagles that you'll just not be able to get on the wall.
Right. But then, I mean, they're giving up the gates and the gatehouse and the area behind the wall.
Yeah, that is true. So there is probably still play. I am a little worried to see what will happen.
Okay, I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
And on the
Yeah.
defensive side, we have the
Um,
very classic defenders of Helm's Deep. Uh, I see Aldor. I see rocks. Two rocks, in fact.
Two rocks, Eldor, and a Legolas. So there's a lot of shooting here. Maxed out bows, maxed out throwing weapons.
But we all know the old guy is going to kill all the people. He's so good. I'm slightly disappointed there's not the young kid, because that's also classic. But I guess without Aragorn around, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I don't think bringing Aragorn here makes much sense. Like the amount of troops you'd have to sacrifice to bring him, just
No, and it's not worth the bodies.
but yeah, many rocks, a rallying point.
Yep. 38 models.
He did not give his yeah, he did not give his banner a dude.
No.
So
Cool.
yeah, I think we'll move on to the next, unless there's more you have to say on these.
No. I yeah. I've makes sense.
Next, we have Liam with Erebor reclaimed times two.
And this is a special guest, Liam, right?
Yes, this is a special guest Liam from Australia, from the Last Alliance of Noobs and Men. He is currently on, I believe, his honeymoon around Europe and wanted to do some events. And he happens to be in the neighborhood during this one, so he decided to come join us. He did, however, not pack any dwarven crossbows.
Well, he should have said something. I'm sure someone here would have lent him some.
Yeah, I was not informed of the issue until he handed in his list. I looked at it and was like,
Interesting.
interesting.
I mean, what a legend that he's on his honeymoon across Europe and he's like, you know what? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go play some games of MESPG and not just any old games. I'm gonna do a siege tournament. Like, what a legend.
Yeah,
And what a legend of a wife that she's okay with that.
yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, we've got Erebor on the offense side. We have Thorin, Dane, Ori, and Gloin, and our first battering ram.
yeah. I'm looking at the list. Like we're laughing at the fact there's no crossbows in the defending list, but the attacker list, like honestly, nothing's stopping this group of angry dwarves from reaching the walls realistically, because it's all defense 8 shield wall block, and then they reach the wall and they have some
And
ladders and
then
a ram.
Thorin or Dane are probably at the front to clear some space on top.
Yeah.
Or
Honestly,
yeah,
I don't think he even needed to bring the ram because Dane on his own can just destroy the wall. Realistically speaking. This
hmm
reminds me, earlier someone asked if you could heroic combat off of a gate. Um, my gut says no, and you also don't get charge bonuses against the gate because it's not a combat. You're just making strikes. But what's your take on that?
my instinct says no, but I want to actually read the rules again for safety before making a final ruling on that one.
Oh, look, we're getting a live look into the rulebook. Don't watch
So
this,
give me a second
GW.
while I scroll through my PDF.
This is not piracy, I swear. This is a very legal PDF. No pressure. Just find a door. This is Siege Engines.
Uh, deploying a siege engine. Oh, these are siege engines.
There you go,
Oh wait,
Sieges. Oh, up. Oh, okay.
let's stop doing piracy. I didn't realize this. I forgot I shared my whole screen.
Yes, I wasn't joking when I was commenting on that.
Yeah, I should have noticed that slightly earlier.
Hang on. Let me. Gate. I'll
Here
help
we
you.
are.
I'll help you search.
Doors, gates, and hatches. Uh,
It says they are
yeah, it happens at
attacking
the
it.
end of the fight phase.
Oh yeah.
It says it has to attack the door. You must be in contact with at the end of the fight phase, which suggests it doesn't happen during the regular fights, so you can't heroic combat, and you don't get your charge bonuses because it's not a regular fight. It's a thing that happens at the end of the fight phase.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also because it's not a infantry model or a model at
Right.
all, you don't get charge bonuses and stuff like that. So it's just you're making strikes against it. That's it. Cool. And it was a armored door, right? So defense 8, 2 wounds. Yeah, we covered that earlier.
Yeah, it is the armored door, so defense 8, 2 wounds.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to see Liam at our event, and I wish him the very best of luck, but mostly a lot of fun.
Yeah, and while he brings no bows for his defenders, he does have rocks.
Yes. So he does have probably up to 4 shooting attacks, as long as you get within the wall range.
Moving on. We have Lucas with, on the offense, Lyndon with Gil-galad and Elrond, 4 siege ladders and just a bunch of elves.
That is a ton of elves. So I think his strategy is we're just not going to open the gate, and we're just all going up 4 ladders. Looking at it.
Yeah,
Because Gil-galad is
I don't
strength
think
4.
he has. Yeah, I don't think he has anything that can really deal with the gate, unless he wants to spend might on heroic strength.
I don't think they have strength. Honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, get up the walls, kill everything on top. You get quite far already.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always climb down the other side, open the gate from the inside. It's a plan.
I'm not sure if I made a rule for that.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Yeah, I might have made one in at least one scenario for if you capture the gatehouse.
Yeah. Gil-galad does have strength.
Right.
So Gil-galad could theoretically take down the gate. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think throwing Gil-galad to the top of the wall might be more valuable. It's just clear defenders, make space, get elves up there.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, once you're on there, and you can keep pushing things back, you can get the rest of the army in there too. But it's just, yeah, it requires some effort to get on there in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay. For the defending
And
side, I see a whole
defending
bunch
side,
of Uruks.
yep, we got 37 Uruk-hai defending. No maxed out bows. Assault and Helm's Deep list. Just 9 crossbows. But still, quite a lot of just force of bodies to hold back someone climbing ladders.
Yeah. And some berserkers too with the fight 5. Quite scary. Yeah. I don't think you need to max out the crossbows. Because, like, at some point it becomes a liability because they don't have shields. And it's expensive. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah. Depends how much you value clearing a couple numbers before they even get to you, because that's the big advantage of having a wall, of course.
Yeah. I guess you could have done it and taken one less berserker or something to pay for the crossbows.
Yeah. We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah. I mean, I said it earlier. I think Uruks will be really strong in general. They're just such a solid warrior profile. That's a good mix of like high defense and high killing power. That I think that's a really good pick for scenarios like this.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason Saruman sent them to attack Rohan's greatest fortress.
Yeah, how well did that work out for them? I mean, it's not like they were ambushed by a wizard or anything.
Moving on. More stats and graphs. Well, for now, stats. The graphs would follow soon. I found the army size quite interesting here, especially how close the average army is to each other. Right? It's about 29 models on average for an attacking and 30 for a defending. So first of all, they're really close. Second, People are managing to bring more models in their defending army, which they have less points for.
Yeah, but when you think about it, at least 50 points are going towards siege equipment for a lot of people. Like they're bringing towers and
True.
like ladders and stuff like that. And like some way to open a gate, so maybe a big hero or whatever. And for the attacking armies, you have Larry's list bringing the average down by a lot.
The not just Larry's list.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's another one.
Which is why I put the median in there as well, which is also still quite close together.
Yeah, yeah, it is interesting. But like I have the same thing because my attacking list is literally the same as my defending list and like as an army list, but it has one model more because I took Guayir.
Yeah, and some siege equipment.
Yeah.
And
So it's like, yeah, I mean, and the only reason it has a model more is because I downgrade Legolas to a captain, you
mhm.
know? So I would have actually had less models as an attacker than a defender there. So I can kind of understand where it's coming from.
Yeah, I can understand where it's coming from. I just found it a very interesting data point.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess like the general idea people have of sieges, like this horde of dudes attacking a castle held by the brave few men. But like in terms of game mechanics, it's actually way smarter to have like elite dudes running up ladders and just killing things despite being on a ladder.
Yeah,
And numbers don't mean anything.
no, because if you bring, say, a horde of wildmen, for example, you're gonna lose loads of them with shooting, and you need to win a disadvantaged fight at the top of a ladder to make it up to the top of the wall.
Yeah,
So you want things that can hold off shooting and actually somewhat quickly get on top of the wall. So it
yeah.
makes some sense.
And unless you're using a siege tower, you're gonna be on top of the wall by yourself, no spear support, no banner probably,
Yeah,
rolling with less fight against someone who has a spear support and maybe a banner nearby. So if people have listened to our odds episode, shameless plug for the Lowlands Wargaming podcast, you'll know how shitty those odds are and how unlikely you are to win that fight.
yeah.
So yeah, I get where it's coming from.
More lists. We have Marcus bringing in defense the Battle of the Five Armies with an eagle. We have Guahir as his defensive leader,
Interesting.
which I imagine is for the fall back to the keep scenario. Because with Guahir, you can get back fairly quickly. And it's less likely that the attacker is going to have anything that can keep up with you and actually get there. Also, in that scenario, the gate starts open and you have a chance to close it. But because in this case your leader is flying, you can just start trying to close it from the start.
Yeah, it's a bird. It doesn't care.
Yeah,
I really like
uh,
Wire as a defensive pick. Like, really like it. Because it's also just someone you can keep behind the walls, and then as soon as someone skills the wall somewhere, which is probably going to happen because you only have 24 models, and you can just send in Gwyer, and it's just going to fly on the wall. Like, fuck you, I'm a
yeah.
bird. Like, what are they going to do about it?
Kaka.
Yeah, I mean, Gwyer is so nuts in this edition. It's stupid.
Yeah. And then we have a Legolas with some Mirkwood elves, Nori with some dwarves. No rocks.
No rocks. But there is a dude with a flag.
There is a dude with a flag.
Alright. I think it's pretty solid.
So that's
Like,
that.
it's a little bit low on the models, but, you know, the models are good. So, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. Then on the other side, on his offensive list, we have a Balrog, a bunch of goblins, two captains, a cave troll, one siege tower, and one ladder.
It's the offensive side.
This is the this is the offensive side. Um, so yeah, the Balrog is gonna have a gate for breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, it's a baller can't whiff if it automatically wins the fight. I really like this thinking. You know, it's going to kill at least
Yeah.
something.
and it wounds the door on a 4. So on average, you do in fact definitely clear the gate in a turn.
Yeah, you should just one-shot it. Actually, uh, you probably don't want to do that when you're trying to kill the gate, but the lash can also pull people off of the wall, right?
Yeah,
That's
Lash
fun.
could pull people off of the walls.
That's fun. I like that. That's cool. And the siege tower is going to get pushed by a troll, so that's also cool. Yeah, I like
Yep,
it.
with a lot of goblins.
It has a bulwark and so many toys, and it still has 43 units. Ah,
Yeah,
Moria is just
yeah,
filthy in this edition. It's just nasty. Oh, disgusting. I
uh,
love it.
yep. Speaking of Moria being nasty,
Ah, but this is less models. It's fine, right? Right?
uh, but it does have a watcher.
Oh, let's not mention that. I learned
Speaking
against
of pulling people off the walls.
yeah. I learned against Larry that a watcher is not a problem if he just refuses to come on the board for like a few turns in a row. That's how you win against the watcher, right?
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be nuts. You just put that one behind the wall and just block people off and just like yeah, it's
Yeah, and you now automatically have a presence within the actual wall, which matters for some scenarios.
yeah. I imagine the watcher cannot come on the walls itself.
I doubt it will fit. And
Oh,
even if it would, I probably should roll against it.
right, but yeah, it's now on the big oval base. Or sorry, the round base. It has a larger base, so it would never fit. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't need to. It can just be behind the wall and peel people
Block
off.
people off.
Yeah.
Make some space in front of a ladder so your goblins can get on easier and actually get
Yep.
engagement with the spear sport.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something, all right.
Yeah, 6 ladders, which I think might be a bit much, but we'll see.
Well, it's goblins. They need all the help they can get. Because like
True, but it is only 26 goblins.
they yeah okay, fair enough. By the time they reach the walls, that it's probably going to be 20 goblins, and then they have 6 ladders between them.
Yeah, this is where my doubt for the amount of ladders comes from.
Fair enough. Speaking of equipment, I see barricades.
Yeah, on the defense, we have the Rangers with barricades, rocks, and a flag. Um, this flag does not have a dude.
Yeah. There's rocks, there's barricades, there's flags. It's just like a little bit of everything. It's great.
Yeah, I think if deployed well, those barricades could do a lot for specifically this army to just delay the offensive list, so you get another turn or two of shooting, maybe. If you can fall back behind them, just use them as an obstacle.
Yeah, and it also triggers your elven cloaks. So I'll read it verbatim from
Right.
the rules manual. A barricade should be no more than 3 inches in length, 1 inch in width, and 1 inch in height. A barricade can be defended in the same way as a barrier and can be jumped over in the same way as an obstacle. A barricade has a defense of 7 and 2 wounds. So it can be attacked by shooting or assume the same way as a gate in
Yeah.
melee. Um, but yeah, for 5 points, that's a pretty nice thing that you can just put somewhere, but you can't move it around. So once you place it, it's there, and that's my main question mark. It's
Yeah.
like, where are you going to put it? You know, like are you gonna put it in the middle of your wall? Like, what's that gonna do? You know, like you're just gonna lock
Yeah.
yourself out of an area. So like maybe in front of the gate to slow people down.
Yeah, you could put it behind the gate so that once they break through the gate, it takes them more turns to get anywhere useful.
No, yeah,
But by that point, they're climbing the ladder, so you're gonna have less models shooting at them anyway.
yeah, but you know, if you're defending a barrier, then it's still like that's pretty decent. It got really nerfed in this edition, but it's still decent. Like it still helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
So
I guess with the Rangers having a little bit of extra defensibility from the barricade might really help them just not die.
yeah, I can see it. And also, there are only 5 points, so it's 10 points total. That's not even an elf worth of stuff. So yeah, I get it.
Fair. All
Cool.
right.
Well, Max, I'm looking
Moving
forward to
on.
seeing your shenanigans.
We have Yeah, he says in chat, behind the gate and one in front gives you an extra turn.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense.
So then we have Menno with defense once again, Rangers of Mirkwood. This time he added in Gloin,
I like that.
but no rocks, no banners, no barricades.
It's a real missed opportunity for a flag on a rock. I will say that.
Yeah.
You should have just cut some models, taken a flag. Sad. Anyways, I really like this auto of this. Let's talk about this other one.
Yeah. On the other side, we have Fangorn with Treebeard, Birdseed, and one of each type of Ent.
I don't remember what the ends do.
Me neither. Some of them are good, some of them are not.
I remember they do things, and you have to have at least one of each type before you're allowed to take more of another type. And we have one of each type, and then he ran out of points.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah, so I believe the plan here is to basically kick down the gate with the Ents and then use the internal ladders to get up.
But can ends climb ladders?
I checked the rules. There is no restrictions on who can climb ladders. The only restriction is that you're not allowed to deploy your monsters on top of your siege tower. I
Wait.
had also assumed that monsters would not be able to climb ladders, but it doesn't actually say that.
Wait. So you're telling me that a Balrog can just climb a ladder?
Yes. I'll quickly here. Siege ladders. A siege ladder is a heavy object. However, it is not mounted on a 25mm base and will simply use the template of the model when carried. Can be shot attacked as normal. La la la. Can put it on the. Models may move up a siege ladder in the same way as a normal ladder. Wait, normal ladder. Did I miss a bit of rules?
Where is normal ladder? Quick search the entire rulebook for
Where is normal ladder?
Normal ladder.
Control F.
Please stand by.
Ladder.
I swear we know what we're doing.
The use of ladders or length of rope makes climbing significantly easier. Climbing up or down one of these doesn't require a climb test and doesn't count as difficult terrain. Instead, the models may move up or down as if they were moving normally. So that's still not an actual restriction on who's allowed to climb, with the exception that I think cavalry might be automatically restricted by the fact that it's still climbing, which cavalry isn't allowed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and just for clarity, no one is allowed to climb up the wall itself because they are not climbable. Right?
Yeah, you can't do a climb test to climb the wall.
Yeah. Just before people get a idea. But yeah, smash inside the gate, take the inside ladders. Okay, fair enough. When pushing down ladders, monsters count as extra. Check the section of pushing down ladders. Okay.
Yeah, that's also the later in the rules. They implicitly say that monsters can climb ladders because they make it more difficult to push them down.
That's crazy. I love it, but it's crazy. Just the mental image of a Balrog, just like get me down a bit later. You know, it's just
yeah.
It doesn't work in my head.
In fact, this list is the reason I double checked this. Because I saw this list, sent Menno a message like, "How are you getting on top of the wall?" And he was like, "The back ladder."
I mean, fair.
Yeah. I did discuss with him the option of not taking Merry and Pippin and taking ladders instead. But he was not open to the idea.
I mean, respect. The man has a plan and he's sticking to it, okay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. A monster will modify the dice roll by 3 in either direction depending on if they are pushing or on the ladder. So it does, say that monsters can in fact be on ladders. Man, this is crazy. All the things you're learning. Anyways, Menno, thank you for making us check the rules on whether monsters can be on ladders. Today I learned.
Why don't you use your wings and fly up the wall? Sad Balrog noises.
Fair enough. Oh, that's great.
Suggestions that Treebeard is tall and made out of wood. Surely he counts as a ladder for the hobbits. You could argue for a leap test depending on the size difference.
I mean, if we're doing that shenanigans, you should be able to have a Mumak and just like do a boarding maneuver where people can just go from the howdah directly on top of the wall.
Yeah, I'll make a ruling on that if it ever comes up.
Just- Hobbits jumping to their death.
Toss me. Wait, no.
Please don't.
Yeah, Menno is asking, can you make a jump test for the hobbits? And I'm ruling on that if you happen to do that in the game. So if you want to force me to make that ruling, sacrifice your hobbits.
Yeah. Fuck around and find out. That's the best ruling.
Let's move on to the first Rick.
Ricky B.
With Rick B. With Minas Morgul in offense. With a Witch King on a Fell Beast. And 2 Orc Captains. Lots of Orcs, couple Spectres, a Tower, 4 Ladders, and a Battering Ram.
Yeah, I love
Menno
it.
is saying that he will in fact sacrifice his hobbits to make me make this ruling.
Excellent.
Noted.
Do it during the game where one of them is your objective. Do it. I love this list because this is what I was originally debating taking, more or less. My plan was Moran in front rank and Orc Spears behind, but other than that, it's pretty much identical. Siege Tower with a Troll to push it. And then just, go ham. Didn't need the battering ram because the troll can just do
also
that.
aware that your troll can in fact just climb a ladder when the siege tower is in place.
No, but of course you have to have the troll just bash through the gate. That's more cinematic. But yeah, I mean 44 units. I think the majority of them strike on courage, so pretty killy. A really nasty spellcaster on a fell beast. What's not to love? Like this has all the tools you need in order to absolutely terrorize people. So yeah, nice. I like it.
Yeah, specters to force some maneuverability to gain a point where you can more easily get on. Yeah.
No, because specters now make them move towards you in a straight line. They stop when they touch something. So effectively, they're going to like into the battlement and immediately stop. They're no longer.
So you have to actually...
Yeah. But it's still good because if someone
them...
can reposition the specter, if they fail the test, they can't move that turn. So you can still like quote unquote transfix someone for a turn, but it doesn't really move them around if they would touch something.
I don't know this by heart, but if the specters get through the gate, could they start pulling people off the wall?
I don't think they can make people do things like jump off cliffs and stuff, but don't quote me on that.
I'm gonna make sure to check this rule because that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, because there are a lot of rules where it's like you can move a model against its will, but you cannot make it lay down or make jump tests and stuff like that. I think the Spectre is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I like the defending list. It has Flagomir, the best mirror in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we have both Boromir and Faramir. With a banner.
And a rock.
And a rock. Bunch of tin cans, couple rangers.
I like it. It's got a bit of shooting. Quite a bit of shooting, actually. A really nasty
11
general.
bows. So.
Yeah. And Faramir got quite a bit of glow up with this edition. So, the 100-point Faramir with the automatic heroic resolve if you get broken and stuff like that, it's good. It is actually really good. And, they can use each other's stats. So, if they're close to each other, which they're probably not going to be because, you have a lot of board to cover, but if they are, then that's quite nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Solid.
Honestly, not too much to say about this one.
Nope.
So we move on to the second. First, we have stats and graphs. I've actually put the division of armies up here.
Yes.
So we actually see quite a good spread. Men of the West has a slight push over the rest. Army of Gundabad, Assault on Helm's Deep, and Rangers of Mirkwood are also quite high, and the rest is all one or two um, versions of an army.
Yeah. I am must admit I was surprised to see that Man of the West is the top tier. But then again, I'm two of those, so
Yeah, you're half of them because it's so close. It's easy to have outliers, and I believe the ability to bring Gwahir in the offense has convinced several people to bring him. Has no, that's one,
two.
right? Yeah, one, and the other one has Gwahir in the defense. That's the or was that
No,
no?
that
That was
was that
Battle
was
of Five
Battle of Five
Armies.
Armies. Yeah, so there's I think there's three people
Yeah,
with bringing Man of the West because of Guire on the offense, and I'm the only one using it as
yeah.
in defense. Cool, y'all.
So yeah, and yeah, I'm just also kind of happy with how spread out this is. There isn't an army that clearly everyone thought this is clearly the best for sieges.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't seen the real spice yet, though. So
No.
that's
Let's
I
go
want.
on to the second rig.
Ah, yes, Ricky C.
With on defense a host of the Witch King. With, yeah, the Witch King, Shadow of Rudauer, and Mr. Steal Your Banner. Couple Spectres, whole bunch of Angmar Orcs.
I don't know how I feel about this list on the defense, if I'm really honest. It doesn't really stop your opponent from doing stuff. So it's just kind of like sitting there shooting a little bit and waiting for them to come to you, and then you're fighting.
Yeah, but the Spectres can maybe pull people off of siege weapons to make those go slower. But then again, you have six orc bows, so how much does the extra time there actually help?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Moving on to the offensive list, we have Legions of Mordor, with a Witch King on Fell Beast this time, a Morannon Orc Captain, and a War Catapult. Two ladders.
Uh, my head is breaking. This looks like it should be less than 750 points.
That Witch King is on Armored Fell Beast and has the Crown of Morgul.
Yeah, no, I
So that
recognize
is
that this is correct, but it feels like this should be less points.
right. Fair enough.
Like, I'm looking at this, oh, it's two warbands and a catapult. Oh, this is like I don't know, a 700, 650 point list or something. And I'm like, nope, 750 points. Like, what? What happened? But of course,
Yeah.
Morana's got a point more expensive this edition. And the Witch King
Yeah.
is on Armored Felbeast is hella expensive.
Yeah. Menno, I like your thinking. I love the image, but a door is not in fact war gear.
Yeah. Can't steal doors.
Also, I'm not sure if Nasdaq has the strength requirement to kill a door.
No. E strength 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
And yeah,
a mortar catapult on the offense. It's pretty nasty. It can kill a gate. It can kill
yeah,
people. It can make people run away with severed heads. It's good.
yeah, it's bringing severed heads, so I think that could do quite a bit. Some magic will probably make it easier to get on top of the wall.
Yeah. Like I think it still has play, but if you compare this to the Minas Morgul list, where the Witch King is on a normal Fell Beast, and then you have Morannons mixed with regular orcs, so you have more numbers, and you can bring a regular troll to bash in the gate. Like that just seems more appealing to me than this. And I think that's the whole problem that people have with Legions of Mordor in
Yeah.
general, because it's a cool list, right? It's like all of the armies attacking Minas Tirith, but then the options are so and the army bonus is like non-existent. So it just.
Yeah.
Sorry if I make you feel down about your list, Rick. That's not my intention. I just it's more me critiquing the balance of list writing. It could have used a little bit more spice, to make it
I think
cool.
this is the only way. Isn't I think Legion of Murder is the only way to bring the war catapult at the moment, right?
Can't you bring it in Gothmog's Legion, or did they take it out of that one now?
Maybe Baradur has it. Could be.
Well, let's move to the next one while I check this real quick.
Yeah. We have the third Rick,
Yeah.
who has army of Gundabad on the offense with Azog, bunch of Gundabads. Rick is saying he does agree with your critiques of his lists.
I'm sorry. It's always like I want to give a fair assessment of the list, but I also don't want to make people feel bad about their list, Like, but anyways, I checked the
Yeah.
catapult. It is in fact in the Armor of Gothmog as well. Not that Army of Gothmog
Alright.
is amazing or anything, but you can also take it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for our third Rick, we have Army of Gundabad with Azog and Bolg on one side, with a tower, one ladder, a bunch of Gundabad orcs, and a couple warbats.
I like the poor bats. That's going to be so annoying. Like small flying creatures, holy shit! Like I'm surprised not we haven't
Yeah.
seen in Kerbane. I guess it's going to be a pain in the ass because unlike eagles, these are very hard to keep off of the wall with like an anti-fly formation, right?
Yeah.
And then you're not stopping that
And
siege
then
tower, so
Gundabad orcs are. No. Good chance Azog is on the siege tower and just immediately walks onto the wall.
I mean that's going to happen. They might even have Azog and Bulk both on the tower. We'll see.
Yeah.
I breaking as defender. Hello.
Yep, with Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, so we've got the three hunters, and Haldir with a group of elves. So this is on the lower end of unit count. There's only 19 models.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they all have elven cloaks by default in breaking, right?
I believe so,
It's
yes.
not listed here specifically because I guess because it's auto included. Because they're getting it for free, I'm pretty sure. Because that's a big deal. Because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, Legolas and Aragorn are pretty vulnerable to shooting, even with Indoways. But with the Elven Cloak, then that's not happening. Let me just double check.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, friendly hero models get Elven Cloak for free. Jeez, this list of additional rules for the breaking is nuts. It's like
Yeah.
this long.
And I believe Lothlorien warriors just have them, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are the pajama elves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is only 5 bows with, I think, 8 shots total with Legolas and Haldir.
Yeah. And a throwing axe. Oh, and Aragorn has a bow.
Right, and the throwing axe. Yeah, Aragorn has a bow. So we've got 5 bows, which equates to 8 shots. Oh, wait, it's 5 warrior bows.
Yeah, so
Ah.
9 shots.
So we have. No, we have 8 bows total because the bows in the top are only the warrior bows. So we've
Oh,
got the warriors, Aragorn, Legolas, Haldir. So it's 8 bows, 11 shots.
yeah, gotcha. Max asks, can you break a siege tower? I think a siege tower can be broken. Let's see. A siege tower can be shot at or attacked normally, has a defense of 10 and 4 wounds, and is a battlefield target. If a siege tower would be destroyed, all models in it or on it will suffer falling damage. So the battlefield target means that if you hit it with a siege engine and you scatter successfully and wound it, it'll just die. Which I think makes sense given the whole Trebuchet movie scene where rock hits it and it just
Mm-hmm.
fucking collapses. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you want to kill it with melee, defense 10 4 wounds. It and
Yeah, and
yeah,
ranged is in most cases not going to scratch it.
no. I mean, you can
because
try, but
strength 2 bows literally can't.
yeah.
Elf bows could, but sixes by sixes.
Well, I mean, if you brought a bunch of rocks, hear me out. If you brought a bunch of
Right,
rocks,
right.
they're strength 6. I mean,
Then it does basically already need to be at the wall, though.
yes, but how fun would it be? You're like they get on the
True.
wall, they charge your dudes, right? So they're fighting, they're fighting you, but it's the first round of combat, and everyone else is throwing rocks, and they all like throw rocks, and the thing just falls apart, and everyone falls down and dies, and then you win and go home.
Yeah. On the other hand, another good solution here might be to bring a defensive Gwahir. Gwahir could probably do something against a tower.
Yeah, but the tower does not automatically count as trapped, so Guire would need a
No.
minimum of 2 turns to kill it, and likely more because he's winning it on 5s. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, um,
But
where
it's an option.
yes, you can destroy
Yeah.
it. Theoretically.
Breaking.
I mean, honestly, if someone manages to destroy a siege tower this game or this tournament, I would be very impressed because I haven't really seen many things capable of doing that.
Now, 10 a defense 10 for wounds. That is about, what is it, 2/3 of a Sauron? A little more?
I think Sauron is 5 wounds, but also has infinite fate, so
Yeah,
it's not,
about
not
5.
it's not really a comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Does the King of the Dead work on
This.
siege or gates? Do gates or siege engines have souls?
I'm gonna have to read the rule on that one.
You
Because
might
that depends how it's worded.
you might have to make a rules as intended ruling there. Let me look it up,
Yeah,
and you can move to the next army in the meantime.
yeah. If it says models, I have an argument for saying no.
Okay.
At least for the door. Because the door isn't a model.
And, I'm gonna have to look this up, and it's in
Anyway, the
the
next
army.
we have is Short. Um, Short is bringing Muster of Isengard as his defensive list, with Saruman, Grima, and 1 captain, and then about 27 Urukai.
All
So I
right.
think here
Yeah, Grima. Holy shit.
Grima will be.
This model. I swear to God. What do they do? It's.
Yeah,
So for those of you that are
yeah,
unaware, Grima got a little bit changed in this edition. He can now move through enemy models and can basically not be pinned in place. So until he reveals himself, there's just nothing you can do to stop him except surround whatever it is you want him not to touch with bases so that there's no space for him to fit. That's literally the only thing you can do. So if you have a siege engine, it's basically gone on turn 1 against Grima unless you dedicate your whole army and surrounding it. Then of course Grima exposes himself, but that's a 25-point trade for a very expensive siege engine, so yeah, worth it. And the best case is you don't have siege engine, and Grima's gonna follow your big heroes around because you can't stop it. He's so annoying.
uh, if you have a low number of ladders, Grima can just stand in one, and now your ladder is useless.
Stand in one. Guys, I actually don't think this ladder is very safe, and I think you should go somewhere else. Yeah. Okay, so it says a model that
um,
suffers a wound from the King of the Dead in
Arguably,
combat, which is not then prevented, will automatically have their wounds reduced to 0, causing them to be slain and removed as a casualty. It's called Drain Soul. It's an active special rule, and it has some flavor text about draining the essence of its victims.
yeah. Combat here is a big thing that already disqualifies the door.
Oh, and the siege tower, because that's also not combat.
Um, yeah, and Siege Tower. So, no, they do not count as combat, so therefore the King of the Dead will not insta-kill them. Also, they don't have courage values, so Blades of the Dead just use your regular strength on their defense,
Yes.
just in case someone was gonna ask.
It's just so many fucking edge cases to cover here. I
Mm-hmm.
love it though.
Yeah, on Grima as well, he could stand behind your siege tower with a slight distance, so it's a lot harder to get enough models to push it.
Or you could just like, if depending on how your siege tower is modeled, you could just stand in the ladder or whatever it is that you use internally to get up the siege tower.
Yep.
I hate this guy so much. Assured, I love you for bringing him. I'm glad you're the only one who has brought him because this is like, blood under your nails type of annoyance.
Yeah, I think the counter to this is to bash in the gate and just use the internal ladders.
Yeah, it's like you can't stop all of us. It's just gonna go another way. Yeah, and then we have some more Men of the West on
uh,
offense with a Guire and a Gimli.
yep. Yeah, and an Alisar and only two ladders.
Yes, and no flag. I now realize I
Yep.
don't even know if there's banner VPs for any of the attacking armies in the scenarios. I just automatically grab the guy with a flag because I'm so used to it already.
Yeah, I think Fog of War had them for both sides, but I'm not
Oh,
100%
there
sure.
you go, justified, yay. But anyways, it seemed useful to have banners in more than one area of the battlefield.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think this is a we've discussed Man of
I
the West
mean, you're gonna
before.
have, yeah. Let's move on. We have the last list, Wietse,
Yes.
with the Army of Gundabad, bringing two dinner plates and the model on top of them.
Well, let's start with the small thing. There's a Goblin mercenary captain that's a general
Right.
on his own.
Yep.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, what? Where is he gonna deploy? I have so many
I
questions.
mean, theoretically, he could deploy inside the fortress to just be a bit of a nuisance. But
Yes.
then you are throwing your general away, so I'm not sure.
I don't know. I love it, but I'm so. I mean, that's the first thing. But then we have some Gunabet orcs and some ladders. Sure, sure, sure. And then there's two catapult trolls. What the f?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, we just learned that catapult trolls can apparently climb ladders, even though they can't fit through the gate. I mean, they also can't fit on top of
Catapult
the
controls
walls.
won't.
But
That.
yeah, so but it's funny.
Uh huh.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I will have to rule that you can deploy them within 6 inches of the battle of the board edge, because technically their base is larger than some deployment zones.
Yeah, they just have to touch the board edge, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that
It's
that's a,
also a tiny difference. Like, their base is 6.2 inches, and you have to deploy siege engines within 6 inches of the board edge.
yeah.
It just uses two ladders of stilts.
I think that's the brutes that you're confusing with the stompy legs.
Yeah, I think these would just it's shoot stuff with the catapult trolls and hope that does enough damage that the Gundabad orcs can just do stuff.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you target fire and you kill a bunch of models on like one side of the walls, and you go there with all of your orcs and your six ladders, and you still have what is it? You have like 20-ish Gunabat orcs, two of which are captains. So yeah, it'll push. It'll do fine.
Yeah, I think once again this is a little more ladders than you need for this amount of troops.
I think people also are used to the old edition where when you're fighting at top of a ladder, you're also fighting someone who's defending a barrier, and that's no longer the case. So it's much easier to
Mm.
actually fight, win, and get a foothold on the wall from a ladder than it used to be. Like, it used to be almost pointless, uh, because it was so hard, and that's why you had to bring loads of them, or just like use a handful of heroes to like make a beachhead. But it's much better now.
Michael, I'm not gonna make a ruling on that because I don't have to.
Travel, move over. Yeah, no, okay, that's not happening. And the very
I think
last
the answer
list.
would be.
Oh,
I think the answer would be if the ladder survives, because the ladder would take impact hits. But I don't have to make a ruling, so I'm not gonna set that in stone.
oh god.
Wietz's defensive list is Army of Lake Town with the Master Alfred, Braga, Toriol, Fili, and Kili. Um, Lake Town Guards, and a rallying point.
Yep. So they have a flag, sort of. Um, I think in the old edition this would have been like 40 units or something. Like Lake Town got nerfed pretty
It's
hard.
possible.
Larry would probably be able to
Mm-hmm.
recognize this instantly, but it's still a decent amount of numbers with a decent core of heroes. So yeah, they're a bit fragile, so your troops might suffer if the enemy managed to get on the walls and stuff. But yeah, I think it'll do well enough at holding a
Mm-hmm.
castle.
Yeah, I think that is our last list.
We made it.
So I have one more set of graphs here, which is the army distributions actually differentiated between attacking and defending. And I think we have just one standout here, and that's the Rangers of Mirkwood 3 defending. Because, yeah, bows. Wait. Something's wrong here.
What's wrong?
I think there should be 2 Depths of Moria on the attacking side. But there's one on both.
Yeah, I also don't think
So
there's
I
two.
made a mistake in my
I,
spreadsheet.
I also don't think there's two defending Men of the West.
Right.
Maybe.
Disregard these graphs.
Yes. Look at these graphs. They're pointless. Oopsie. But
Whoops.
yeah, cool, cool graph.
Yeah. And that is it.
Wow. And now, for those of you who kept count for our little prize question this time around, the correct answer was not 7. I don't know if people can even see that anymore. That was a red herring. It was 10. There are 10 rocks purchased in total. And I just checked the chat and no one got even close.
That's
Right?
not true. Menno
No?
got it.
Did Benno get it?
Menno got it.
Oh, Menno said 10 rocks maximum. Oh yeah, it was buried in like a line of text. Okay. Oh, congratulations, Menno. You got it exactly right. What was your reasoning? 10 rocks maximum. 600 is already such a difficult point level. Well, you were absolutely right. Most people used it as points filler because I think the most anyone bought in a list was 2.
Yeah.
There were like 4 people that bought 1 rock and 3 people that bought 2 rock, and that combines into 10.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations, you get to pick something from my pile of goodies at the tournament. Everyone else was like 17 and 24 and stuff, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nice. Good job,
These
man.
were people who realized rock's good.
Rock good. But not
and
not
figured
not too
everyone would
good.
bring some.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not a model, right? So you can't take too
Yeah.
many of them because then you suffer because you need the models to just hold the walls and stuff. That's the difficult part of it.
Yeah. Because you do just have a lot of wall to hold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm excited. I hope everything will work out.
Me as well. Sorry if the stream is doing weird stuff. I accidentally resized the window.
Larry is claiming there's 12 rocks.
Larry is claiming there's 12 rocks. Did I miscount? It's quite possible that I miscounted. because, well, as we all know, I'm a professional, and I no longer have the PDF open. Well, let's go through it real quick.
Yeah, I'm going through them. I haven't found any yet.
Okay, but where are you starting?
One rocks. I started at the end.
Oh, okay, so one rocks.
I'm just going back to also stream the thing. So we have one rocks here with Rick B. No rocks here.
A two
Two
for
rocks here.
three total.
Larry!
Apparently he counted hobbits. God damn it, Larry.
At that point, should we be counting the Ents as well?
Made you count. Asshole. Yes, well, if you count that, then there's a whole bunch of rocks, but we're not counting those. We're counting the people who specifically paid points for only rocks so that they can bring a 25mm base with rocks on them and be like, yeah, I brought rocks. We should praise those people.
Liam just entered chat.
What?
I just saw Liam the noob enter chat with "fuck, I've missed a bit."
Oh, yeah, you missed all of it, mate. Well, you should be able to watch the recording. You also missed a bit where we called you a legend for coming in on your honeymoon and then calling your wife a legend for letting you in the first place. Or partner, I should say, but I'm assuming wife.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it.
It's a wrap. Do you have any final words of advice for people coming to the event? Anything they should definitely not forget or do before they rock up?
Nothing that isn't blatantly obvious. Like, obviously, don't forget your army.
Yes. Everything else people can probably lend you, but you kind of need your army.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, blame her that I'm late. I was at dinner. I will not do any such thing. There's no blame to be had for anything your wife does if she lets you go to a fun siege tournament during your honeymoon. Looking forward to meeting you, by the way. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This was, as always, the most professional live stream as ever been. Sorry for the lag. I hope it cleared out a little bit. And see you at the event.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you later.
Yeah. See you on Sunday.